Despite winning more Sports Game of the Year awards than the Canadiens have won Stanley Cups, the NHL franchise has continued to make strides. Last year, board play and revamped fisticuffs led the bullet points, and with NHL 11, a brand new mode and a lot of tweaks based on fan feedback are looking to push the forecheck.
Moves it into the zone, gets around him. That's how you make a glove save.
Completely new modes are hard to come by in NHL 11, but Ultimate Hockey League qualifies even if it's already appeared in other EA Sports games. You're given a random deck of cards to build a franchise with the ability to earn or buy new ones. You can then take your fantasy team into online leagues. There's ridiculous depth thanks to a chemistry system that maximizes performance, and it's a great mode for the right people, but it's a little too complex for its own good. For better or worse, the rest of the options have remained basically the same. There are a lot of small changes to the BIA GM franchise mode, like CHL inclusion and AI adjustments, but again, they'll only be noticed by the most dedicated. BIA Pro, the EA Sports Hockey League, and all the shortcuts to glory all work as advertised, but exactly as they did last year. A smattering of additions like created jerseys and drafting real-life prospects round out a package that is almost as redundant as it is robust.
Back up onto the point on that pass from down low. Chance, he shoots, he scores!
It's no secret that the NHL franchise has been approaching gameplay perfection for a couple years now. Tweaks and twists have been tossed into the stew, but it's all been built on a near-perfect feeling of skating, passing, and shooting. While there are no additions that will completely shake the foundation in NHL 11, it's surprising how the little things can mean a lot.
Go to the bench and find another piece of wood, young man. He took a shot on that one.
Take broken sticks, for example. This may seem insignificant and more of a vanity addition until your twig gets snapped and you're left scrambling trying to pick it up. Or even worse, you're caught trying to play defense without one, hoping to gain possession so you can swing by the bench for a new one. It manages to impart multitasking into a sport that can swing moment by moment, but it happens a little too often. Face-offs have also received a major overhaul, allowing for much more strategy, variety, and best of all, mind games. Winning or losing a draw in a key moment can literally determine the outcome, so it's great that there's been significant depth added to the interface. It's so realistic that even novice players will find themselves adjusting their lines to get their best face-off man in the circle as much as possible.
Good work with the glove right there, and he hangs on.
Board play was an addition to last year's game that definitely pumped up the realism, but could also feel a little random. EA maintains that it's done some work on it, but it's too hard to see what's going on. Goal reviews have also been added this year, but they're not especially reliable. The rest of the gameplay adjustments will only be noticed by players who found every possible exploit in NHL 10. There are now moves to avoid prone players on the ice, quick dekes to get around checks, and another that will thwart the poke check, the most abused defensive tactic in last year's game. The downside is that all of these require holding the left shoulder button while tapping the right stick, something that is sure to confound the average player when the bullets are flying.
Good score, great move.
For all the gameplay adjustments, the one that makes the biggest difference over the long haul is real-time physics. It applies to every element of the game, including goalie rebounds, board play, blocked shots, and more. Best of all, the magnetic checking that has haunted the series for years is finally gone. The way players now react to collisions is much more random, and you'll continually see new reactions as you pile on the games. On the flip side, landing a huge check is much more difficult, and you'll line up some players and get a full run at them only to bounce off like a pinball. In NHL 11, the little additions really do mean a lot, and the incredible skating, passing, and shooting remain intact. While there's no real turbo button, you can click the left stick for a small boost. Just keep in mind that it will seriously drain your player's stamina, and considering a face-off or two can make your line's energy level dip, you can't abuse it. Not all is perfect, though. It's difficult to find a happy medium when playing the computer. On the Pro difficulty, it's far too easy. Set it up to All-Star, and the defensive AI will clog all the passing lanes and constantly lift your stick to steal the puck. The goalies become brick walls, and your player's shooting accuracy bottoms out. You never feel like you're rewarded for making amazing plays, as junk slap shots and random rebounds become the lone scoring mechanism.
Hey, there's a great scores!
NHL 11 has a ton of gameplay tweaks, and most of them are for the better. The real-time physics change just about every element of play, while new face-offs and broken sticks have a larger impact than expected. Yet there's still a strong sense that the computer has a little too much of a hand in things. We had to play with the sliders a great deal to find a happy medium between challenge and reward.
Offense rolling here. He comes in. Scores! And they took to the early lead.
real-time physics have added more to the visuals than any amount of shaders ever could. The way players interact with each other both before and after the whistle really sells it. Gone are the all-or-nothing collisions, and they're replaced by dozens of degrees of contact with varying results for each. The arena sounds plant your butt in a seat, and the Madden team should take some notes on recording team-specific chants. It's a solid presentation all around, but some cracks are starting to show. There still aren't enough player faces, and the ones that are here could use some work. Slow down is persistent and be a pro, there aren't enough songs in the soundtrack, and the play-by-play gets things wrong a little too often.
Leaves the defender in the lurch. What a move he put on.
More than in past years, NHL 11's enhancements will be noticed by a select clientele. It's a product of fan feedback and number crunching, but for that core group of fans, most of the cheese has been cut, making for a rewarding game that's greater than the sum of its updates.
Great chance.